Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started here in a minute as we get live on Facebook so folks can watch the program. And there we go, connecting up. Go live. Preparing to live stream. I'm so excited for this sunny day that we've got outside. It's gorgeous. It is springtime in Oregon. It's what we live for. Okay, we are live on Facebook. Fabulous. I'm going to minimize that screen. Well, good morning, everyone. It is April 23rd. It's 2022. And welcome to the April edition of Coffee with Cathy. So I hope you have a nice warm cup of joe right there or whatever you enjoy. This is my Serenity cup, which is what we've needed over the last couple of years to kind of figure out what end is up and to live happily with one another in this fabulous Kaiser community. With me today are regular contributors Betty Hart from the Kaiser Fire District and Bob Shackelford from the Kaiser Chamber of Commerce. Pastor Dominguez from La Luz de Valle sends his regards. He had a conflict in the schedule come up this morning, but he'll be back with us in May. And with us today is a very special guest from the Early Learning Hub, Claudia Rodriguez, who is going to share with us some amazing programs and supports for families with young children. All of us who are parents, grandparents, neighbors, we all want to invest in our kids. I'm going to kick it off today with a few things that are happening with the city of Kaiser. One of the big ones is Monday morning. We will welcome our new city manager, Adam Brown. He is currently in transit from the city of Ontario, where he has been serving as the city manager for about 7 years. And we're excited to have him join the team here in Kaiser. I'm looking forward to inviting him to join us on Coffee with Cathy May edition. So stay tuned for that. Coming up in May will be the Kaiser Budget Committee. We are all interested in the budget because we want to make sure our tax dollars are used to maximum benefit and maximum services for the people of Kaiser. Those will be live and in person. Woo! On May 9 and 10 at the Civic Center. They will be broadcast if you'd like to kick back with the budget in front of you and a cup of tea or something to enjoy the evening. A couple of really big work sessions happened just recently. One was with the Kaiser Community Library and a proposal to have the community library finally become a Kaiser public library. In the past, there were a lot of barriers between us and that goal, but lots has changed in terms of regulations, in terms of the opportunities for Kaiser Community Library to become a public library. I've got to give a huge shout out to the volunteers who have worked so hard to prepare the community library to become a public library. When you look at all of the requirements, they've accomplished everything that they can as a community library. I'm looking forward to our work group working with the community library, with the Schmecada Cooperative Regional Library Service, otherwise known as CCRLS, and the Oregon State Library on what it's going to take to finally flip that switch for the Kaiser Community Library to become a Kaiser Public Library. Please stay tuned for those updates as they happen. And I'm excited for this opportunity to finally happen. I believe it can for the people of Kaiser. The other work group was for work session was for a proposal for Marion County to direct about $2 million of ARPA funds to Kaiser for the construction of 2 turf fields out at Kaiser Rapids Park. This is a fantastic opportunity to provide a playing surface that will be usable 365, 7 days a week. It's fantastic. Not all night because we don't want people in the park at night, but it will offer opportunity for many sports and for kids, families to be outside and enjoying fresh air, sunshine or rain, doesn't matter. We want to be outside exercising and providing opportunity for our youth to have things to do right here in Kaiser. We'll be moving forward with those conversations very shortly and get to what this is going to look like in terms of being able to accept those dollars and provide that turf field. So stay tuned for that. A couple other pieces of news, awards. Our Chief Teague was awarded by the Oregon Association of Chiefs of Police a Meritorious Service Award at their last meeting for the body of work that he has done for problem-oriented policing and leadership among the police departments across the state. Kaiser Police is one of the departments that has worked very hard to make sure that we implement problem-oriented policing. We're not about enforcement, but we're solving problems. And we hire people that have that mindset, that we want to solve problems, get to the root so that we get compliance with what we need for rules, regulations, laws, but more importantly, that we prevent those problems from happening again in the future. So with that mindset, we've been able to do a lot with our community. Our police chief said, you know, when we hired him, if you want the tickets and things like that to be a revenue stream for the city of Kaiser, I'm not interested in the job. And he said, if I'm police chief, that will not be a significant revenue stream because we want to solve the problems, not just write a lot of tickets for revenue. And he has been true to his word. On top of that, our municipal judge, Carl Myers, also works with people who come before him to solve problems and to make sure that they get to the root of a problem rather than just say, just pay this fine and good luck. They also look at the family situation. They look at what needs to be done with a car repair or getting an insurance payment or other things that may have been barriers for someone being in compliance. So with that in mind, very much well-deserved congratulations to Chief Teague. We're also celebrating a couple of our schools. McNary High School this year found out that they are finally an AVID demonstration school for secondary education. This is something they've been working toward for years. AVID is generally in the middle schools, but they've been working to make sure that this is a continuum into the high school. And this week, they were awarded that status, and that program will now be in McNary High School, home of the world-class McNary Celts. Also, we are celebrating Chemeketa Community College, the #1 college in Oregon. Woo! So proud of Chemeketa, the leadership, the board, President Jessica Howard, and her predecessors that have worked so hard to create a community college that reflects our community, that is responsive to the needs of students and our entire community. So a huge shout out. And I told the president of the college, I said, well, we knew you were #1. It's about time the rest of them caught up. So congratulations to Chemeketa Community College for being recognized as the #1 college in Oregon. Fantastic. A couple other things I'd like to wrap up with is the Marion County Reentry Initiative breakfast is this coming Thursday at the Kaiser Civic Center. The city of Kaiser is one of many that has been supporting the Marion County Reentry Initiative from its inception. We wanted to collaborate to find ways for people leaving incarceration to leave it permanently, to find a fabric, a warm handoff into the community for education, for mental and physical health, family counseling and skills, and so much more, and other barriers, things like glasses, medications, and driver's licenses or identification cards. By working comprehensively, the Marion County Reentry Initiative has a success record of people who, when they enter that program and leave incarceration, they are then on a trajectory toward community connection and success in their lives. We're glad to be back in person this year to not only celebrate the accomplishments, but learn how we can even more deeply engage with all of the service agencies that help prevent reincarceration and help promote a very positive future for people in our community. On a sad note, I would like to acknowledge and take a moment to remember a very special community member. His name was Sonny. At least that's how we know him. You see him out on his bicycle on the streets of Kaiser. very dear, and a person who has been homeless for many, many years and had a very complex profile. It was very difficult to serve him. And he had a song in his head that he was invisible. Well, he landed in the wrong place to be invisible. He was not invisible to this community. And despite his best efforts at times to say, well, I'm still going to be invisible, he couldn't be. And he was well loved. He was taken care of. You see him down at the park at our summer concerts, parking cars, working very hard, giving back in the way he could. People invested in him. He did pass away this week. He was not alone, for people who are wondering. And there's going to be a celebration of life over at the Eagles on April 30th from 3 to 6. We encourage people to come there. And we also encourage all of you, as you want to learn more about how we are working to prevent long-term homelessness and chronic homelessness, go to the website for the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance. We are working so hard to provide both short-term, medium, and long-term solutions for people with complex needs. And I hope that as we continue to lean into this work, we will remember Sunny, and that every person has a face, they have a name, they are not invisible, but they are humans that we are going to care about. And we are going to make sure that we never normalize living in substandard conditions in our community. We'll continue to reach out and do everything we can together to serve people and end and prevent homelessness. There's a lot going on in our community, but that's Kaiser. We don't sit still. We keep moving forward. And with that, I would like to then go to our special guest today, Claudia Rodriguez from the Early Learning Hub. I met Claudia at Breaking Bread, Breaking Barriers, and I'm so excited about the programming that she and her team at the Early Learning Hub are providing for families in our community. Claudia, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Cathy. It is a pleasure to be here with you all this morning. Let's see, got my screens in order. So, hi, good morning, everyone. Hola, buenos días. It is a great pleasure to be with you this Saturday. Es un placer estar con ustedes esta mañana. My name is Claudia Rodriguez. Mi nombre es Claudia Rodriguez y trabajo para los programas preescolar en los condados de Marion y Polk, que también va por el nombre El Hub. And I work for the Early Learning Hub here in Marion and Polk counties. For those of you that might be unfamiliar with the Early Learning Hubs, there are 16 of these hubs or centers distributed across Oregon that are focused on supporting healthy and stable families, and while ensuring that children, primarily ages 0 to 5, are receiving the learning experiences that they need to thrive. Para aquellos de ustedes que no están familiarizados con el Hub, hay 16 de estos centros en Oregón que se enfocan en apoyar a las familias que estén sanas y mientras asegurando que los niños, principalmente de la edad de 0 a 5 años, reciban las experiencias de aprendizaje que necesitan para prosperar. Los Hubs están diseñados para aprovechar los recursos comunitarios existentes y eso es lo que hace cada hub única a su área de servicio. Each hub is designed to build on existing community resources, making each hub unique to their serving area. And as you all can see, my background says Pinta la Ciudad Azul, which translates to paint the town blue, and it is in observance of Child Abuse Prevention Month in the United States, where we raise awareness to preventing abuse for young children. And one of the ways in which the hub does this year-round is through parenting education classes, where parents are able to attend classes and gain insights on what healthy development means for their young child, as well as learn ways to create positive environments for that healthy development to take place. These classes are also a great opportunity for parents to come and meet, network with other caregivers, ask questions, just share a space together. We recently transitioned to offering in-person classes in addition addition to our virtual offering. So parents really get to choose what they are comfortable with, as well as something that fits with their schedules. Though I will say that our in-person classes have amazing meals. So if you're able to do that and are comfortable with doing so, we have great meals and also childcare available for those families that need that respite care during the session. I will be providing a link in the chat of our current calendar for those of you that are interested in signing up for a parent class, or please, if you know someone that has young children or is struggling with parenting in any way, just spread the word, share the calendar. We are constantly just adding new classes. So that would be the link that I provide would be a good place to just keep on logging into and just checking to see what is new. So, el Hub ofrece clases de educación para padres donde pueden aprender sobre el desarrollo saludable para sus niños y maneras como crear un ambiente positivo. Ahorita estamos ofreciendo clases en personas y en línea para acomodar a los padres y a sus necesidades. Las clases que son en persona tenemos cuidado de niños y también ofrecemos una cena que es muy rica para los que pueden atender. Voy a poner ahorita en un momento en el chat un enlace donde pueden ver el calendario de las clases que tenemos disponibles. Y por favor también de compartir con familiares o amigos que a lo mejor estén interesados, que tengan un niño chico donde quieran aprender más. Whoa, I don't know if you all can hear that lawnmower in the back. That just, hope I'll talk a little louder, pero si pueden también compartir ese enlace con familias que están interesados. And the Hub also is super excited to announce the launch of our new website, Preschoolhub.org. That is a culmination of organizations in the area coming together and supporting coordinated enrollment. So in the past, just finding preschool can be pretty complicated just because it is not something that's mandated for children. So a lot of times families will go online, do a Google search, and are just bombarded with everything from publicly funded preschool, private preschools, home centers, and just a lot of it is, if you aren't familiar with that world of pre-K, it can be pretty confusing and overwhelming, and you don't know what direction to go. So what we did in Marion and Polk is just get our partners together and create a website that is essentially a central place that families can go to learn all about publicly funded free preschool options in our region. So families get to see a list of programs that we have available here in the area, and you have awesome features like being able to filter by different characteristics such as languages that are offered at the program, is transportation available, the program days and times, and a lot more. Or you can also fill out an interest form with your information and have someone contact you. So if you don't know really where to start or just would like more of someone just holding your hand through the process, just filling out that interest form with your basic information, and then we will then contact you and just go over that process just to ensure that your little gets enrolled in the perfect preschool for them. The site is available in multiple languages, which is helpful for those families that just need that additional support. And I will be going briefly here in a moment, just sharing the site with you all and just going over some of those features. El Hub también se complace en anunciar el lanzamiento de nuestro nuevo sitio web, Preschoolhub.org, que es una culminación de las organizaciones en la área que se unen y apoyan la inscripción coordinada. So en el pasado muchas veces los padres que quieren inscribir a sus niños en un programa preescolar no saben dónde empezar. Hay muchos programas también en la comunidad y es difícil entender a cuál programa va a poder inscribir a su niño o a su niña. Y este sitio que hemos creado es diseñado para como un lugar central donde las familias pueden ir y aprender sobre todas las opciones que tenemos disponibles gratuitas por fondos públicos en nuestra región. Las familias pueden ver una lista de programas que tenemos disponibles aquí en la área y filtrar por diferentes características como idiomas ofrecidos, si hay transporte disponible, los días y horarios del programa y mucho más. También, si gustan, pueden completar un formulario de interés con su información y hacer que alguien se comunique con usted para... El sitio está disponible en varios idiomas, español incluido, para si quiere ver esa información, es un lenguaje. And lastly, the Hub also has a program that is partnering with ODHS Child Welfare that is focused on returning children in foster care back to their birth families. And we are currently looking for volunteers who can help with reunification at different capacities. And some of the options may involve being a volunteer driver where you can drive children to and from their parent visitation. So right now, that's just an area that is really lacking in the system. We don't have enough drivers to just be able to drive children to their parent visitations. And a lot of time, caseworkers themselves will have to take time from their own schedules to go and do those drives when that time can be devoted to just other work. So there's a really high need right now in child welfare. So if you yourself or if you know anyone else that has just some time available to volunteer as a driver, that would be really helpful for the agency, for our children, for our families here in the area. I will also put the information of a link of more a website where you can go to and just get more information of where to contact, in addition to my information if you have any questions. And then we also have the option for those of you that want to be a little bit more hands-on becoming a family partner. And that essentially means just visiting family homes and ensuring child safety. So with that, you are a little bit more hands-on. You're working with a caseworker and just ensuring child safety. There's a lot of communication back and forth, but it's a really good way to just be able to ensure that children are reunified back with their birth parents in a safe and timely manner. Por última, el Hub también tiene un programa asociado con el bienestar infantil de el Departamento de Oregón, que se enfoca en devolver los niños en cuidado o crianza a sus familias biológicas, y actualmente estamos buscando voluntarios que puedan ayudar con la reunificación en diferentes capacidades. Una de las opciones es ser conductor voluntario, donde puede llevar a los niños hacia y desde las visitas de sus padres. Entonces, ahorita necesitamos que voluntarios donde puedan manejar un vehículo, y puede ser el de usted o vehículo del estado, y llevar a los niños a sus visitas para ver a sus papás y luego regresarlos para atrás a su hogar donde se están quedando. Ahorita lo que está pasando es que no tenemos voluntarios que pueden hacer este trabajo, y muchas de las veces las trabajadoras sociales son los que están teniendo que hacer este trabajo. Así que si tiene pocas horas durante su semana o conoce a alguien que pueda ayudar con esto, nos ayudaría mucho a la agencia y también a nuestras familias y niños. Y por último, también si quiere algo que donde pueda ayudar poquito más, tenemos la opción de ser un compañero de familia, donde visita los hogares de familias y asegura la seguridad de los niños. Y ahorita en un momento también voy a poner la información donde puedan ver agarrar más detalles sobre lo que se necesita y a quién a contactar. And how are we doing on time, Cathy? Do I have time to go over some of the websites, or do you want me just to plug them in the chat?
I'm muted, so I wouldn't interrupt because my dog was about to go off. This has been fabulous. Can you go ahead and share your screen and show people what the new website looks like, and I've been putting into the comments for Facebook Live so people know where these links are and they can follow up for folks who are watching on Facebook Live later.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, this is preschoolhub.org that just went live yesterday. So it's brand new. You all are seeing it first here. And again, it's something that we are very proud of, something that's been long in the making. And again, it's just a directory for all the different preschool options that we have here in our region. So you have the option of going directly and clicking preschool directory and just seeing the different options that are available. You have the filters over here on the left-hand side: city, languages, transportation. If you have ERDC, age group served, learning centers, types of programs, it goes on and on. Or you also have the option of requesting information, and that's the just the forum where you input your information, your details, and we then get in contact with you and just go over some of the options and just some of your some of the things that you might be of interest to you and your family. Here on the main page, we also have just a little blurb talking about what free preschool eligibility is, and it's for families with income up to 200% of the federal poverty level. For those families that are above that 200%, we have the option of you calling 211 and requesting more information, or visiting findchildcareoregon.org, where you see more options for your family. But here below we have the chart of just household size and what that federal poverty level is for your household size, in addition to just other graphics and just data-based information of why you would want to send your child to preschool, and just how valuable that is for not just their short term, but overall just development and their outcomes in life. Here we have just information on who to contact and if you need assistance through any of this, and then down below the different languages that are available. So if you need to just get the website in a different language, just clicking one of those. So really user friendly. Again, if you know any kiddos between ages 3 and 5 that will be needing preschool here soon, this is a great place to start. In addition to just our Marion Polk's Early Learning Hub's website, which is parentinghub.org, that has a lot of information on how to support just families and just different events that are going on here at the moment. So that's our main website. I will also provide the link just to our calendar with parenting classes, their times, and that's also in English and in Spanish. And provide links to just how to become a volunteer driver in specific. So I have this in English and Spanish, and I will put my own information in the chat for those of you that have any questions about becoming a family partner in specific. And again, that is if you want to go into the home and just ensure child safety in the home and work with a caseworker. So any questions that anyone may have, please feel free to direct them directly to myself or anyone at the hub, and we would be more than happy then just get those answered or do what we can to assist.
Well, Claudia, thank you so much. This has been fantastically informative. I've been feeding some of this information into the comments on Facebook so people can also follow up there. And I'm going to make sure that this is on our city website among our community resources. I think I actually already did that this week, to make sure that people are looking for community information can find it there. Ramiro, I know that you have been involved in helping to promote providing more child care options and so forth. And so I'm really happy to have you on the program. And also when talk about transportation, there are bus pass programs that might be of assistance, and maybe you're already partnered don't want to put you on the spot, but want you to be able to think about that and share how our Chariots has been a fantastic partner in providing transportation and passes for so many programs like this that get people where they need to be.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Mayor Clark. As somebody who grew up in foster care here in Salem and used public transit to get to and from my home visitations, I have a deep, I hold a place in my heart for everything that you do with the foster care system and promoting that unification with youth getting back with their parents. So thank you for that, Claudia, for your presentation. And yeah, when it comes to the childcare initiatives that we've been doing in the community, so we just recently got, well, recently, probably like 6 months ago, got a grant for a local childcare in the community to be able to grow their in-home care to accommodate more youth. And that's worked out really well. They're excited, they're still growing, so we're hoping to get them into a facility, but as most childcare owners know, that it's difficult now with the new regulations saying that they have to have overhead sprinklers and a bunch of other safety equipment that's kind of preventing them from growing right now. But yeah, thank you for sharing that hub too as well. I seen that there was 3 spots in Kaiser that are the preschool, part of that preschool program. And I know that there's one over where my kids go to school. And so I'm curious where the other 2 are. I'll have to check that out later because that's really interesting. And then another thing I want to comment on is the Reentry Initiative, that we have coming up. That is so awesome to be a part of. And I look forward to checking that out as somebody who benefited from reentry services and who was able to recover from my addiction and my mental health issues and use those services to get away from recidivism and be a productive member of society. I really support those types of programs. Going back to Chariots though, so now Chariots is, and I know everybody's excited about this, wearing masks is still highly encouraged, but it is now optional for all riders on the bus, as well as inside and outside the Chariots transit centers. While we are recovering from this pandemic, Chariots is still trying to catch up with getting all of our buses outfitted with the onboard filtration systems. So we would really encourage people to wear those masks, but it is now optional. Also, another quick plug is that next week, Chariots is going to be having our job fair. So whether you're interested in getting behind the wheel of a bus or in front of a computer, Chariots has a place for you. We are hosting a career fair on Tuesday, April 26th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at our transit center in downtown Salem. We are a growing organization and we need talented people who want to serve our community. We offer competitive wages and great benefits, medical, vision, dental, hearing, paid leave, life insurance, tuition reimbursement, a health savings account, retirement plan, and free transportation for you and your family. For more information, you can check us out at chariots.org. And with that, that concludes all of my announcements for today. I'm really excited. Sorry for being late today. For some reason, I thought we were doing this at Kaiser Rapids. And so I was getting ready to head out the door and I checked my email and I was like, oh no, this is online. And I was really excited because I was like, oh, that's like a twofer. I can go out there and be able to clean up at the park and enjoy coffee with Cathy. So it looks like I'm gonna be showing up late for the cleanup today. But yeah, I'm still glad to be here with y'all.
Well, definitely heading down there. And thanks for that segue over into some fantastic events today at Kaiser Rapids Park. This morning, starting at 10 o'clock, there will be a park cleanup. The Willamette River Keepers are back. They are wonderful community partners. We did our first project with them last fall, and it was so successful. They said, we want to come back. And we said, we want you to come back. So we're going to continue that to grow that partnership. And then this afternoon is Soggy Day at the park. And true to form, it's sunny outside. So that's how you make it happen. Soggy Day at the Park is put on by the Claggett Creek Watershed Council, which is a fantastic volunteer organization that helps preserve and enhance the habitats around our watersheds, specifically Claggett Creek, but they also do other projects in collaboration with the environmental department at the city of Kaiser. So Soggy Day at the Park was hatched as a way of saying thank you to the volunteers that spend so much time making our parks and our waterways clean and beautiful and healthful. And they have bounce houses. They've got, there's gonna be a taco truck out there today. And Robert Johnson from our Parks Department will be there. He's got a big backhoe. So for kids of all ages who would like to find out what it's like to be inside one of those big machines that does some of the work in our parks, they'll have a chance to get in there and try it live, not solo. Robert's going to be right there with you. But also we want to encourage people who want to get into careers in public works. We have a need for skilled individuals who want to do quality work with great teams and make a difference in your own community every single day that you can see and experience. So come on down 10 to noon for the cleanup, noon to 3 for Soggy Day at the Park, Claggett Creek Watershed Council. And it's going to just be a lot of fun. Of course, everything's open from sand volleyball to the big toy and the walking trails and so forth. And there's a lot more coming. We just adopted the master plan for our park system, which includes Kaiser Rapids Park. And as I said earlier, we are going to be having that conversation about how to move forward with the turf fields. But there's a project that's going to happen this year, and that's the lower field where you have the walking trail and the beautiful arboretum. We're finally going to get that field leveled and ready for play, free activity. It's going to be unprogrammed. I call it the cardboard box of parks. You know, at Christmas time when you open up the gift and the kid plays with the box, however their imagination determines, that's what this is. It's a nice big field that is unprogrammed. You can have a pickup softball game one day, frisbee the next, picnics the next, whatever you want to use it for, whatever you need a big flat grassy area for, that's it. So that's going to happen this year as part of our parks maintenance programs this year through the Kaiser Parks Department. So very excited about that. So Ramiro, we'll see you down there at the park, and we will make it down there. Speaking of down at the park, Bob, we're talking some great events, not just down there for Kaiser Fest. And I know I'm getting a little bit ahead, but you guys are working really closely with the city, and want to thank you very much for that very methodical and thorough way of looking at how Kaiser Fest can be successfully integrated in that space. So won't get too far ahead, but those are going well. But the chamber's not sitting still. You guys are just rocking and rolling. What's he going to do? What's happening, and how can we get involved?
Let me unmute. Well, I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag there, but we'll just leave that alone until a couple weeks, hopefully. But Chamber's been very busy. The girls and the ladies down at the office have been working crazy. We have golf tournaments coming up. We have the Percy event, which is the network of women in Kaiser coming up, which is a fun event. The golf tournament and the Percy event raise money for the giving basket every year that we do at Christmas time for the families in Kaiser and Salem schools. So they've been working a lot on that. We just had the Distinguished Young Women's event down at McNary High School, which Fatima did a fabulous job. Fatima is, I think she was one of the distinguished women a few years back. So she did a wonderful job. I attended that. It was great. First time for me. It was fun. Betty and I went down there together. It was a good event.
Hey, Bob, before you go on from that, Fatima was a distinguished young woman in 2016. And thanks to her, we've been able to invite all of the participants from this year's Distinguished Young Women to come to Kaiser City Council on May 2nd. And we are also going to honor the 2022 Distinguished Young Women who everything had to be done by Zoom last year. So we've invited them to come as well. So tune in 7 o'clock on May 2nd, and we are going to honor and recognize the Distinguished Young Women 2022 and 2023.
Yeah, that's a great event. First time I had been to it. the girls come to Rotary every year, but first time I actually went to the event, it was great. I think Betty and I, it was a good time. So back on the Percy event, the golf tournament, which is the Bloomin' Iris Open, which is on May 13th. It's a 4-man or women scramble, I should say. Great golf tournament. We were out at our first greeters last Thursday evening. We're going to try to host a greeters in the evening once a month now. We had our first one at McNary Golf Course. Dave Zrodnik hosted it for us and promoted the golf course. It was a good event. So we'll keep you up to date on that. But again, if you know anyone who wants to play golf in the Bloomin' Iris Open, this will be the second one we've had. The first year, it was great success. So it raises a lot of money for the families again for the giving basket in December. Other than that, I don't really have a lot. There's a lot that Cathy kind of shared a little bit with you, but I'm gonna wait to our next meeting to really promote that and share what we've been doing down at the chamber. So on that, thanks for having me and have a great Saturday.
Thanks, Bob. Yes, the chamber after hours was up first, and I'm glad it's not going to be a last, because those of us who have a hard time breaking away from work or have to be at work earlier, for the greeters, this was an opportunity to come down and meet with other business leaders and entrepreneurs after hours, or at least after the standard workday, whatever that is anymore. I'm not sure. But it was a lot of fun to be down there. I really wanted to thank Dave Zrodnik from the View and McNary Golf Club for hosting that event. So I think it's going to be another great way to build connections, build relationships, and that's how we get things done, is through partnerships. And last but certainly not least, partnerships. That's what Kaiser Fire District is all about, and getting things done. Okay, about the breakfast, I get it, but you guys are doing some other awesome stuff, so okay.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, there were tears shed when the fire chief announced at our last meeting that the pancake breakfast, Mother's Day pancake breakfast, would not be held this year again, unfortunately. And the problem for us is really the availability of people to help with that. So they're going to work on kind of a new approach in terms of having enough volunteers people to help, whether they're volunteering or staff or whatever. Part of the problem, of course, is that sometimes the on-duty staff has been able to help, but with our increase in call volume, they're busy either responding to calls or are likely to get called away from the breakfast to answer a call. So it is made it much more difficult for us. Speaking of call volume, our call volume had gone way up this fall. It looks like it might have flattened out a bit to less than 20 calls a day, back to where we were more like 15 or 16 calls a day. So much more manageable and much less stressful for our staff. You can imagine, I can't imagine personally how hard that is, that you go on a call and you get back to the station and you're back out on another call. So that's a big thing. And because of the increase in call volume overall and various things, we are doing an organizational assessment and have hired some companies to help us look at how we are organized and offer some suggestions for other possibilities. So that will be, we expect to get that report or the preliminary version of it in May, which will be just in time for the budget. Our budget committee meeting is on May 11th at 5:30 p.m. and it will also be in person at the fire station. This will be a good time for us to take a look at where we're going and how we're going to be able to keep up with the increased demand for service that has become sort of more of the norm. So we're excited to take a look at that, and we're also excited to be meeting in person again. And so our budget committee meeting is on May 11th, and the following Tuesday is our regular board meeting, which we will also be talking about the reports that we are getting back on our organizational issues. One of the things that has been a problem, if you will, is that we recently had 5 staff out for 5 days quarantining because they were exposed to COVID, and they had been, we had training with Salem on the river. And so 4 of our personnel were there. It turned out one of the other people had COVID, and so our staff was exposed. Didn't know it, of course, right at the time. And one of our staff came back on duty and exposed somebody else. So it continues on, and as we have seen there, or if you've been kind of watching the news a little bit, there could be a lot more COVID than we realize, just because a lot of people are able to test themselves at home. And of course, then those cases don't get reported unless they end up in the hospital. And but you can pass it along to other people. So I noticed there are lots of people who wear masks when they're in public. And while I haven't been, I realized I need to carry mine around to be sure I can put it on when I'm in a place that I might be vulnerable, or someone else might be vulnerable. Because the other part of that is that people have COVID and their symptoms are mild enough, they don't realize they have it, or they think they have a cold or something, and they can, of course, pass it along. And if you pass it along to someone who's more vulnerable, that could be a serious situation for that person. We will be working this next year towards putting our levy back on the ballot in November of 2023. We have to go out every 5 years to get our levy renewed under state law, and that helps us keep the trucks running and staffed. We are currently at full staff, which is no small deal by any stretch, because we've had a lot of turnover, as has been the case in many departments. So our people go somewhere else, and their people go somewhere else, and somebody else's people come here. And which brings me to the student program. We do support that at Chemeketa. And of course, we hope that more and more students will decide to get into the fire service, and they can do that by going to school at Chemeketa, and even enrolling in our student program or other ones where they get part of their tuition reimbursed. And we actually can house a couple of students at our station. So it's a great way for somebody to get into the career fire service, which is a well-paying position, and is really needed. As our population ages, the demand for service continues to rise. No question about that. We recently recognized a number of our personnel for their outstanding service in 2021. And that information has been posted on the fire district's Facebook page. So people can go and look there. I wanted to give a particular shout out to the employee of the year for last year, which now I can't think of Tim's last name. Oh no. So did you say it? Just say it, Cathy. Yeah, so Tim has been a longtime employee. He retired at the end of March, but he was the outstanding department employee for 2021 and is a great person. I'm certainly, yes, Tim Coburn, thank you. And so I'm sorry that he's leaving the fire service. I don't get to know very many of the fire personnel, but Tim is one that I have gotten to know and I enjoy. Besides that, he laughs at my jokes, so makes him extra special. I did want to make a couple of comments on, I'm really pleased to hear that you've appointed a committee to work on the Kaiser Library, and hopefully this will be the time that we become a public library. And it's one of the things that I am working on too, and like I don't have enough to do. And I'm retired. I keep thinking. And I did really enjoy going to the Outstanding Young Women program, or Distinguished Young Women program with I want to give a shout out to Bob, who sponsored one of the scholarships to the one of the two women who were recognized at the end of the evening. And it has always, one of my passions in life has always been to help women advance themselves and be comfortable in their own skin and recognize their own value and worthwhileness. And that program really does a good job in that department. So it was my honor to accompany Bob to that event when he was able to give that scholarship. So I appreciate that personally. So I think that's enough for right now. Again, no pancake breakfast, and hopefully it'll be back in December.
Well, given all the work that's happening at the Kaiser Fire District, I think we can forgive you for a pancake breakfast. And there's a lot of local businesses who are more than happy to help our families celebrate Mother's Day with the special women in their lives. So keep up the good work. I understand about the lifestyle of running one call after another, because my husband is a 42-year veteran of the fire service. He served 30 years at Marion County, 7 years at West Valley, and he is currently assisting as the interim chief at Idana, Detroit Fire District. So it's something that it's a calling, and I really applaud the next generation, including my son-in-law, who are now entering into the fire service and that community service. It is much needed, and we really appreciate the people who choose public service as their career and vocation. So thank you so much for that. It has been so much fun to share with you all what's going on in this great city of Kaiser. Come on down today to Soggy Day at the Park at Kaiser Rapids Park. Keep taking care of each other and making sure that Kaiser community, not only do we land on our feet, we land on our feet to move forward with each other into a vibrant and caring future. It's been my pleasure to welcome today our regular contributors, Betty Hart from the Kaiser Fire District, Ramiro Navarro from Chariot's Board of Directors, Bob Shackelford from the Kaiser Chamber of Commerce, and our special guest today, Claudia Rodriguez from the Early Learning Hub. Check out all the links on our Facebook feed and have a great day. Thank you, everyone.